It's Thursday. You know what that means. It's time for Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and director of operations, Amy Maley. Each week, the team will offer industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old home ownership. We thank you for spending time with us today. Now, let's join this episode of Title Talk.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you didn't. I hope you got to ignore the first.
I hope
10
you're not
seconds.
watching.
Yes, right. Now, turn it in now.
Tune in now. Yes.
Good morning,
perfect.
everybody. Welcome
No,
to.
afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Amy. Nice
Judy called
catch.
this morning.
It
So,
did.
yeah.
It did indeed. So we're coming to you at a totally different time in the midday hour. Welcome to Title Talk. My name is Drew.
My name is Amy.
And we are sitting here with our fabulous new, not really new, he's been here for a while, but we are...
How long
we
has
are
it been now? Have you counted the days?
8?
No, about 8-9 months.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
going on 10.
Christopher,
Almost a
same last
pregnancy.
name,
Yeah.
part of the team, and we are going to be talking today a little bit about leadership. And what you see right here is the leadership team at the Inspired Business Group. We are something that is kind of, as we started to kind of scale and as we got into last year and taking on some of the new endeavors and such, felt the need to put together a team that was really going to be, in charge of leadership and kind of helping out the process of growth and allowing me some opportunities to kind of go out and do what I'm able to do in generating business and coming up with ideas and such. So Christopher has the title of the Director of Business Development. And why don't you tell a little bit of people about what is that? What does that mean? What do you do? Who are you?
I don't do anything. I'm just here.
Uh-huh.
I'm here to look pretty. No, so my main focus and goal is to reach out to other individuals in the industry, whether they be attorneys, realtors, lenders, loan officers, anybody, and see what we can do, what we can offer to help generate business for us at the same time. One of the things that I'm always focusing on is what value can I bring to them to hopefully then have that reciprocated back.
Sure.
But again, what is the value I'm going to offer? What
Right.
can I show you? What can I do and show you that we as a group and team and company can do for you and for your clients? So that's been my main focus, is trying to generate business through showing the value, offering the value to those potential customers and clients, and getting them in the door, showing them that, I'm a man of my word, that we can fulfill what was promised and offered to them, and then let them take it from there, and hopefully continue sending us the business and bring it in.
Yeah, and obviously when we talked at the early stages of bringing you into the company and such, and Amy went through this growing process as well, but it's easy to do something or sell something when you have some knowledge or you're selling something that's tangible, right? I mean, title insurance. It's one of the hardest things for people to really grasp and get their heads around, and then putting it into a state of making it attractive for people to want to do it. And thankfully, the discussions have been with people who are in the business and understand
Right.
what it means. So you're definitely talking to business-specific people who understand what it is and the need for it. But it's really differentiating what is difference between Inspired Title and the so many other folks out there that are doing it,
Yeah.
right? And so what's a point or two that you steer people to making it look like we are different, or how we are different from everybody else?
So the two focal points that I always point out about us is our flexibility, both in time and location. And the other thing is the keeping everything personal, making sure that the attorney or the realtor or the buyer sellers or person refinancing understands that when we speak to them, we're speaking to them and acknowledging them by their name, who they are, not by, oh, hey, thanks for coming in, you must be my 3 o'clock closing. No, thanks for coming in, Mr. and Mrs. Williams. You're gonna be right in this room. I'll be right with you. Can I get you a water, coffee, what have you?
Right.
Really wanting them to understand that that's the experience they're going to have with us, regardless of location that we close, and that we're gonna let our personalities really speak to who we are, and that's who we are as a team. That we're going to make sure you feel comfortable, your clients feel comfortable, and it really does make that experience more enjoyable for them. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm buying a house, I'm spending a lot of money in this process. I want to make sure that this doesn't turn out to be something that's miserable,
Sure.
or where I'm just kind of, oh, I'm here, thanks. No, like, hi, I was acknowledged. I'm known to the people who are handling my
Right.
money and my paperwork, and you know who's signing off on these things.
Absolutely.
So
No,
keeping
that's
it
good.
personal.
And that speaks to something that I want to, kind of get and direct to Amy. Amy is the director of operations, and what's really essential about what she's doing, she's grown through that process of being the behind the scenes person, doing the day-to-day titles where, I'm going to put the commitment together, I'm going to do the research, I'm going to do everything else. But now her focus is becoming the culture, right? And if you want to speak a little bit to that, as far as creating the culture that Christopher is out there trying to really solicit to the new opportunities.
Yeah, I'm not right now because we're done with the person. So yeah, Drew was talking about so when Brittany was here, I transitioned more into the director of operations position in this company, and then when she left a couple months ago, I got sucked back into my wormhole a little bit. But we're trying, the trying part about being in this leadership team is, the bob and weave, as we like to call it here. You kind of gotta step into the shoes that need to be filled at a given time and then move on from there. So, the culture is really important here. It's an ongoing joke that whenever anyone says something negative or something, not even negative, making fun
Just
of
out of line.
making fun of
Yeah.
somebody else that works here, all in a loving manner. Culture is the word that you hear, either getting screamed from Drew in his office or me from my office. But yeah, it's so we are actually in the hiring process right now for filling in Brittany's shoes. We are lucky to have Madison, who is stepped into the social media marketing piece of this, and she's doing a great job doing it. She's a younger kid,
Yeah.
so she brings a different level of she brings a different element that
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
think we've had before.
Totally.
And so now I was trying to find that fit to do the commitment behind the scenes job so that I can go back into this, director of operations position more so. Like I said, it's weird because I just felt like I was comfortable getting out of my wormhole, and now I was shoved back in my wormhole, so I'm seeing how long it's gonna take for me to crawl back out again. But yeah, I love working in this office. I think the relationship and the rapport we have with not only the people in the office, but our clients and our colleagues that we get lucky enough to work with.
Yeah.
It's a good rapport. And I really think what Chris said about not this whole business development thing. It's not give me.
Right.
It's how can I help you, and then catch me whenever. And I think that your relationships with certain individuals have definitely gotten stronger. And I'm sure you've had a couple meetings that have came and went because you meet with a person, you're like, okay, I can see what's important to you, and I can see it's not really going to align with what we're doing, but it's fine. You do you, I'll do us, and we'll keep going. Because relationships are pretty good with you, right? He's good at catch it. He's good at catch up. He's good at follow up. He's good at all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think to that point, one of the things that I always
I'm still here.
I'm a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, and he actually had put out a post yesterday that said, when you're in business and you're trying to generate business, the best thing you can do is show somebody the value that you have to them, and if they don't reciprocate it, that's okay. Everybody who knows about the deal and who is involved in the deal and the value that you provided will always remember that, and at the end of the day, that puts the leverage in your hand. So, and that's something that, again, it's not to hold the leverage over anybody's head, it's to show, hey, I do have value. We as a company and a business group have value, and we want to share that value. And I've spent probably as much time trying to solicit and generate business as I have trying to provide and give business to those same clients by connecting them with other individuals from different areas within the industry to say, hey, you're looking for a loan officer, you're looking for a credit union, you're looking for an attorney. Here, meet this person, meet
Here you
this
go.
person, meet this person, and next thing I know, they're having 5 different conversations, and now they're generating more business, and in turn, they're sharing some of that wealth by giving us some of their business.
And it's hard because it's one of those things that like you have to put a lot of time and energy and effort into, and you might not see anything from it for 6
Sometimes.
months.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just have to be okay with that. And I think the hardest part about Inspired Title is that we say like boutique title company. So when people see this little guy, obviously it comes with a big price tag because you're
Right.
a little guy and you're boutique and but to have that conversation with Chris, with me, with Drew, that is not the reality of what this is.
No.
We are constantly looking at numbers, thinking about ways to help out our clients, our colleagues, to see what we can do for them too.
And for me, creating the speak, being the boutique and creating that culture of giving back and it's about something bigger than us. I think that you just heard both of them speak and they're really speaking to what we're selling. And so boutique to me is that we're going to go over and above and we're going to go beyond what our parameters of or our regular boundaries of what it is. It's all going to be done within legality. We're not going to step outside of those, but we have some more flexibility than some of the other
Right.
companies. We are smaller, so like Christopher alluded to, we can travel to these different places because we are smaller. We have this ability to do this. We're gonna meet you where you're at, and I say that and that to me means a lot more than just the business aspect of it,
Right.
but where you're at in your life. These are big decisions. This is a big undertaking financially. We don't expect that you're going to know this. We don't take it and make this assumption that you've got this. We're going to meet you where you're at. So if your level of knowledge about this business is, I've got it, I've done it, this is my 10th house I've done, we're going to meet you there. If it's, I've never done this, we're going to meet you down at that level to say, here's what's happening next, here's what your next steps are, and we're going to kind of follow you through that. So again, that speaks volumes to the culture. That's what Amy is really trying to create in here when we can get her back outside of the office, because it's something that, you take a step forward and then you take 2 steps back. But there's reasons behind that, and obviously the loss for Brittany allows us to then take some time as a leadership team and speak to each other about, okay, what are some things that we maybe can change up or we don't need to do, and they're kind of forced meetings or forced regroups. Yeah, and Amy is, but here again, you can be careful too, because Patrick Lencioni wrote this wonderful book, Death by Meeting. You can over meet,
Dude.
and you think about how much time is sitting just in this room. How much is this cost right now
Right.
to have the leadership team being doing this title talk? When you take the hour that it takes to do it, the time on the front side, and then just the time here, I mean, you're talking about several $100s that goes into this. Well, is that really money well spent? So it allows us the opportunity, and I'm thankful to have 2 intelligent people in the organization that I can kind of bounce off, or that can kind of reel me in, because before it was just Amy, and I'm the idea guy, obviously. And I feel that, I come up with all these ideas, and they're going, yeah, that's great, but where are we going to fit them in with these other 40 ideas that you just came up with last week? So I probably am, overwhelming them with ideas, but I think now that it's 2 against 1, they can sit back here and go, yeah, that's a great idea, maybe for 2025. And, it's not just Amy's voice going, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. Krister's kind of going, well, maybe we're not going to do that right now. And it's a different perspective.
He's a good mediator.
It's really helped. It was something that I felt necessary to do in creating this team, and I think it has been well received by the current team. I think that I haven't seen it in full blown action because the market has taken its turn a little
It's a
bit.
little bit different.
But we're in this place and we're in this space, and we're now getting ramped up with creative ideas and now able to look at different aspects of it. So I never thought that I would have a leadership team, because again, it was a small title company. And when we went through some coaching and we're still doing it. We're going through that whole scaling process. It's like you can't scale with where you are right now. And I kind of started thinking about that. And Christopher comes from, a Fortune 500, right? Yeah, corporate America, where it's, thousands of people, and you just go, all right, we're doing it on the grand scale. So Christopher's taking steps backwards, going, this is interesting. This is a much smaller, but the theories really are pretty much there.
Right. It's all that stuff is still applicable. It's readjusting the mindset as to how to apply, or how does the effect of this decision inherently dictate or play into the culture as well, to say, okay, if we do this, now this is going to be the effect, as opposed, because there's 5 people affected by it, as opposed to 500 people where that I'm used to dealing with, where it's like, okay, I'm not trying to necessarily appease 500 people or worry about 500 opinions. 5 is a much different conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And I also speak to that with regard to when you hire. You hire at this level, it's not, okay, do you have a pulse, you're in, right?
Right.
We talked about that a little bit yesterday. We were kind of going through the who's going to fill Brittany's shoes. I think we can be a little bit more picky and choosy, because we're looking for this individual that we can either mold into our culture or already has aspects of that. And I'm not going to hire them because they're going to be working with these guys, and more importantly, they'll probably be working with Amy. So Amy is really going to be that first line of feeling comfortable with that person, and that's what's so strong about her personality, is she's quick to go, yeah, I feel something good here, and she's often not wrong. And that's, you bring her into the development space, and she's going, I don't like that guy. And Amy, give him a shot, let's see what this is at. And then cut to 6 months later, I said I didn't like the guy, and look what he's doing now. And it's
I'm intuitive.
Yeah,
it's one of my girl powers.
And it's one of the things that, we did the, what was that test that we just recently did for the
6 stages.
6 geniuses.
6 geniuses,
Yeah.
yes.
And I'm telling you,
Yes.
it was amazing to look at the makeup of this team. It's just, we chuckle about it because we're kind of going, we knew some of it. We obviously, you have to have several aspects of it to really, be a cohesive unit. But when you look at where people are really strong and you look at where people really avoid,
You see what you really need.
yes,
When you're hiring people.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly
Yeah.
the point. You go, we need to find this person. We need to find we don't need an idea person. I mean, I'm full of those.
No.
We don't need to fill the rah-rah, the cheerleader, the person who motivates. We do that pretty well in here. What would you guys think that where we're really lacking? What's that?
Discernment.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead, put that more into layman's terms on a level of work.
Sure. So somebody who is going to be able to come in here and be able to be very definitive and direct to say, this is exactly what we need
Yes.
for this.
Right.
This is what we need for this. And just very methodical
Right.
about what their process is and how they attack or approach certain projects and tasks.
Were either of you guys surprised by your working geniuses? Were either of you guys taken aback by how you guys tested out?
I don't think so.
No, you felt pretty
Yeah.
comfortable where you're falling. I mean, I was impressed because of the growth, right? I think you would've taken that
if I took it a year and a half ago, I think I would have been different.
for sure.
Oh,
For sure.
well.
And when I looked at yours, I kind of anticipated
Figured,
where
yeah.
yours would be just based on what you came off of.
One of mine I knew for sure
Right.
was going to be there. The second one, I'm like, okay, this could be one of 3 different
Right.
things.
Right.
It was just a matter of which spectrum was it going to fall
Yeah.
under.
No, and it's, as we learned in some of our coaching classes and mentoring that we're all kind of taking on, and I think it's kind of like going to therapy for individuals who are out there. It's healthy. I think it's healthy to go through and get this business coaching and this leadership coaching, because you hear a different perspective. You take the weight of the world and you go, look, I'm going through this, I got this happening, and they just kind of bunch it up and they regurgitate it out and they make it seem so much less, and it allows you that ability to kind of breathe and have some freedom and not take so personally some of the aspects of what really gets businesses down or where businesses get bottlenecked. I would say if you asked us a year ago, you know, we were thriving because the refinance market was such in high demand, and we were bottlenecked by that volume
Oh, yeah.
because, you know, the team was just overworked and overwhelmed, and that was something that we identified. But now we say, okay, we start to address that, and then the whole market shifts.
Yeah.
And now you go, wait, we're prepared for this. Now what's this new thing you're throwing at us? And I think that's where I needed the perspective of a leadership team to kind of also have my back, and looking at, you know, projections and where things are going. You know, we're going to put together the numbers and projections and goals for next year, in looking at what that's going to be, and those change based on what's happening in the marketplace.
And the world.
Right.
You know,
the
everywhere.
whole economic
Yeah.
climate matters. I mean, interest rates are going up again, so obviously the refinance market is not an issue. You're probably going to see the short sales. You're probably going to see the foreclosures
Home
with the
prices
forbearance
are
issues. Home prices are changing.
Plateauing a little bit.
Right.
They're dropping a little bit more than they were a handful of months ago. So
And Christopher and I were just talking about this morning, that the targeted business direction that he's going toward, he doesn't need to go towards necessarily the lenders for
Right.
the refinance market,
Right.
because that market is a little quieter. It actually changes his shift. He's looking at attorneys, he's looking at realtors, he's looking at making relationships like that. Now, we're making relationships with banks because there's the commercial side that.
right.
Right.
And we are blessed that the relationship that we have with our mortgage brokers, with our lenders, is great. So like, and we know that
Yeah.
the amount, like the refis that they're getting that they can send to us, they will, and we're
Right.
blessed to be able to say that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's like, what else is out there?
Right.
Where can we tap into next?
It's the ebbs and flows of what we do, and I said to Christopher, I said, you know, well, how do you know now? Where is your business development focus gonna be? Because as much as you wanna pay attention to those folks who were so good to us during the refi
Yep.
time, you wanna thank them, they're gone,
Right.
right? Like,
And I think that that's been one of the challenges is you know, being director of business development is more than just getting the new business. It's how do I then go back to the lenders and the realtors and attorneys who have been very helpful in whether it is, you know, purchase or refis, specifically with the lenders, and say, okay, now what can I do for you to help get you more business that maybe it does come back to us, maybe it doesn't, but you've been good to us. Let me try and pay it back to
Right,
you
right,
by
sure.
getting you some more business, so that when those refis do come back, you're still throwing them
Yes.
back to us. And so it's not just developing the, you know, new relationships, but it's continuing to develop and work on the current and established relationships as
Yeah,
well.
it's a balance,
to not be,
right?
Yeah, to not be lost.
yeah, so would you say that, you know, there's a level of balance that you have to kind of maintain to be effective and even efficient,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and a lot of my new business generation that I do and spend time on is a lot of it happens at night after the wife and baby are sleeping, and it's on social media. It's
Right.
connecting with people and reaching out, and you know, maybe sending those later emails.
Well, because you have a normal job. You're a closer here.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's not just like he can spend his entire day,
Right.
you know, creeping on Facebook and going on LinkedIn to see what everyone's
Right,
up to.
and just
It's-
setting up meetings, and
Right.
that was, I had, one of the things that pushed back the time for us doing Title Talk today was I had a meeting with one of the lenders that I work closely with, and one of the things that he regurgitated back to me that I had said to him in a conversation 2 weeks ago was that even though I am director of business development, I try to go to every closing that I can.
Mhm.
And he said, that's why I keep coming back to you.
Mhm.
That's why I keep sending you my business, because I know that you're not just trying to bring me in to get the business, you're gonna follow through to the end. You're gonna execute,
Right.
and you're gonna be there for my clients to make sure that the experience they're getting is exactly what I want them to receive.
Right.
So that is why so much of my time is spent even outside of the normal hours to do some of this generation of new business and follow up with some of the current clients, because I am spending time on closings and doing all the paperwork before and after and disbursement. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop.
And there's a, and
I
there's
go
a,
CPs at night.
yeah, and right. So Christopher and I can text back and forth. Amy's tucked in at 9:45, so
They know I'll answer it. You know,
if-
at
yeah.
6:30 in the morning.
we send a
When I'm
10:30 text.
sleeping.
There's a 100% chance that Amy's not replying until the next morning.
Yeah.
That's why I'm director of operations, not business
Right.
development.
Right. Well, but we're also
Or the
you know,
inventor man.
Yeah,
I
well,
need my beauty
I
sleep.
mean, we're also so focused. Like
I'm focused.
it's not a matter of that. It's like we're driven
You just
on this
said
this
focused.
idea stuff, and we budget our time going. I'm going to go all in during the day, and at nighttime, like this is kind of a shutdown for me to kind of just think ideas and prospect different opportunities.
I see it in my dreams.
And thankfully, we've gotten great clients where opportunities continue to arise. I mean, we were out at a project this morning checking on it, and just that conversation with the business partner at that job site evolves to other business endeavors. And you go, okay, well, not all of them are yes. And speaking to the point of where Christopher's saying that, the evening and the nighttime timing of doing this, being a smaller title company, he's able to do what he said he can do with carrying through and saying, I'm going to touch this from beginning to end. Being a bigger company, it may touch 4 hands. And the end closer may be somebody that, you've never had. There's a rapport that we're building with the clients going, Christopher's going to be your closer, and guess what? You know who he is, and you feel comfortable and confident. Amy's going to handle the title work on the front side of that. When you pick up the phone and call her, she's going to give you that answer. She's going to
I
be
know the file, I know
intelligently
people.
talking you through the whole process of what we need before it gets out of hand. So that's where I just, man, it's so fun. It's so great to finally embrace a small company, because for so often I was very, very kind of down on that, being, man, how am I going to compete with these little guys? And I said, well, I'm not. It's just accepting that, going, I'm not.
Right.
And don't try. Stay and make your own market, and stay in your own niche of what you can do and do it really well.
Yep.
And I would say over the last handful of years, the introduction of community and I just kind of went back into my heart to say, what do I really love? And it's the community aspect of it. And here we are. We had the golf outing last weekend, which was absolutely outstanding.
Tiresome.
We did a charity event on Tuesday, which was again just absolutely
So
outstanding.
much more relaxing than
You
ours.
see, we did nothing other than play. And we've got this NOCC walk coming up. We have all of these different events. So now part of our leadership meetings are not just talking about the day in, day out minutia of where we got to get better. It's calendaring some events that we can get out into the community and make a difference.
Absolutely. And I think that goes directly back to what my push with business development is what can we give?
Right.
What value do we bring to you? Do we bring to the community, not just to ourselves?
Right. And that's, that mantra is consistent around the office. Amy speaks it, Christopher, myself, Ryan, Miguel, John, Madison. I mean, it's all the way around the office. And if you ask them something that they're proud of, I think their consistent answer is going to be that this company actually cares. It stands for something. And it's not about, just the bottom line, because it's about making a difference in somebody's lives. And it could be anything. I mean, we're talking about a title company, a development company, an investment company, all compiled into the umbrella of Inspired Business Group, making a difference in so many different facets of the community, from giving blood to feeding starving children and feeding families to golf outings, sponsoring different events and different opportunities. So I really feel that the need for a leadership team is as difficult as it was for me to get my head around, and Amy and Brittany kind of hit me with it, at the end of last year, going, so we're going to take this step into Inspired Business. It's not going to be a title, and I choked on it. I fought it, and I went, why? That's what this is. This is Inspired Business, and it's made up of Inspired Title. It's made up of Inspired Development, and we are
Whatever little fun endeavor comes next.
right, and there are ideas in this head
Bring
to
it
do
He's got
on.
ideas,
I'm
I've
the
got
2020.
ideas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh,
I'll
yeah.
be sleeping. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, you'll see it in the morning. It's
I'll-
okay. Yeah, we'll make sure you see it in the morning.
I'll say no in the morning instead of at night. It's
Anything else you guys want to add for our listeners today, and anything you guys want to share about the team and leadership, or was leadership different in for you in a much larger
It had to have
environment?
been.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very different. I mean, it especially being in a completely different industry.
Right.
But
Hey, Courtney.
but everything from what the type of industry was, which was food and beverage,
Right.
in a large venue with 100 employees and having 4 or 5 others as part of our direct department's leadership team,
Sure.
and the 4 or 5 of us being part of a overall leadership team comprised of about 15 to
Right.
18 people, very different conceptually. Sales was not something that I had to push.
Right.
The environment kind of did it itself,
Right.
where I was promoting and teaching my employees how to push sales and upselling and things like that. So very, very different, which is why it's been such a tremendous experience and difference and kind of reset to my mind of how to approach things. But it's something that I've welcomed, and I'm constantly fine tuning. I think that this is working, and it might work for a few conversations, but now I have to revamp it because it only works to that degree.
Right,
Now I need
so
to
far.
now I need to expand
Yeah.
or kind of restructure what that phrasing is that I'm
Right.
trying to get across, because it doesn't work for everybody. So it's being very adaptable within this role. That's definitely interesting.
Well, I absolutely appreciate both you guys taking on, the responsibility and really stepping into this with me and kind of, it is a responsibility, and there are expectations. I definitely am full of ideas, and those aren't just small little shadows that I cast. I cast big ideas and big thoughts, and it's like, okay, here, it's just like, here guys, here's this piano, just go ahead and hang on to it,
Good luck.
I'm definitely thankful for you guys and what you do and what you bring to this organization. Not to dismiss out from what the rest of the team is, because none of this exists without the whole team.
Nope, it
And
does not.
John, Miguel, Madison, Ryan, Brittany when she was here, like everybody's a key piece in this game. This all works because of what we have. And
Putting the puzzle together.
yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys do as we continue to go into the future with this, and what you guys kind of
Can't wait to interview people.
take on. Oh, whoa! Did you hear that? That level of it, huh?
And that's where we differ, because I actually enjoy that process.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like meeting new people. It scares me. It scares me to meet. No,
That's not true. You're out there, so you're just like socially creepy, because your mom is even saying it. Your mom is going, when did you start talking to people?
Because I compliment people. That's
But no,
not
you openly
creepy.
talk to people.
Well, yeah.
No, you openly will come up and just start talking to
I'm
people.
lonely. Be my friend. No, yeah. So it'll be a next chapter, next adventure to bring it on, and
Do it.
we'll get through it like we always do.
We do it. So you guys, thank you for tuning in today and listening to a little bit about us, talking about our leadership team, and maybe a little bit of how we got there, and talked about some of the things that kind of motivate us to continue doing what we do, and how we and why we do things.
I keep forgetting. Never mind.
Okay.
Stay tuned until tomorrow. I have an idea.
Okay, she's got an idea.
I got an idea.
That's great.
Not you,
Let's get
me.
texted
Not
to
you,
us.
me.
All right, stay
I'll
tuned
text
for
you at 6
Amy's
a.m.
idea
tomorrow.
We will be coming to you guys maybe with some fun tomorrow. But until next week, my name is Drew.
My name is Amy.
And I'm Chris.
We are your Inspired Development, Inspired Business Leadership Team. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well, there you have it. That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.